Hey guys, I'm Jessica Bruce.
And I'm Nicole O'Sullivan with the O'Sullivan Bruce Group. Welcome back to this month's edition of the Monthly Market Update, brought to you exclusively by Lake TV.
Guys, it has been a killer, record-setting 2021 so far. We are into summer, it's July, boating season, swimsuit season. It's awesome here at the lake.
It's packed, everyone's having fun in the sun. And we thought, what better way to wrap up the first half of the year than to come to Captain Ron's, sit down with Ron Dugan himself, and learn about the shootout, one of the biggest events here at the Lake of the Ozarks. So
I'm excited.
I know, me too.
Let's go check it out. Well guys, welcome back. Again, we are over halfway through the year, very exciting, and here at Captain Ron's, I'm super pumped for the shootout, but let's talk a little bit about what's happening in the market right now. So a lot of people are saying, you know, there is a lull in the market.
Yeah.
And why you might think it feels that way, it's just because property is coming on and off the market so quickly. If you're a seller and you're pricing the home to sell, you know, it's moving very fast. And so as a buyer's perspective, there is no inventory, but in fact, you know, it's out there. You've just got to be really aggressive and you've got to go get it. So I think you were telling me some stats that are up from this year.
Yeah, so volume-wise, we are up 78% from last year, and transactions are actually only up 31%. So that means that everything is selling at a higher price point. $1 million homes are selling, the volume is over 370% higher than it was last year. So bigger homes are selling.
Some of it is just a little bit of perception, you know? And whereas maybe 3 years ago, there would be 40 homes for you to look through, and now at any given time, there are only 4 or 5. It's because they are moving so quickly. So just keep that in mind. And another interesting thing that we've seen are waterfront lots.
Yeah.
They're up over 300% since the same time last year. So also what we're seeing, if a buyer is unable to find what they're wanting, you know, they're looking for a lot to build.
Which is interesting because, as you guys know, the price of construction on everything in construction is just skyrocketed, but you know, people just really are eager down here, so they're buying lots and building. And interestingly enough, the condo market has actually been the slowest in growth. One of the latest developments is Topsiders. They completely tore down the restaurant and are building this awesome new complex, and they're already almost halfway sold out. And they haven't even dug the footings yet. They haven't even started.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, they're selling. There's just not very many condos to buy.
Well, up next, we're going to talk to Ron Dugan, owner of Captain Ron's and the head of the shootout.
But first, we are going to take it to Brianna in the studio for some numbers of the first half of the year.
Hello, I'm Brianna O'Sullivan. Today we're talking about fast facts for the first part of the year. Let's get started. Let's start off with some big numbers. Both of these are new records. The first is 2,158 total transactions for the first part of the year and over 666 million in volume. Next up, let's talk about the key market indicators. With just 5 months of inventory left on the MLS, that is historically low, and houses are moving so quickly, the average days on market is 41, and the price per square foot is 194. Over the past 3 months, the list-to-sell ratio has been 100%. That means that whatever sellers are wanting, buyers are willing to meet them. Some of our fastest growing sectors we have seen is in waterfront lots. They are up 319% in volume, and homes over $1 million, 375%. Now for our slow growth sector, we see that in condos and timeshares, and that's mainly due to lack of inventory. Transactions are up 21% and volume up 62%, and that's slow growth. I'm Brianna O'Sullivan with the O'Sullivan Bruce Group. Now back to Jess and Nicole at Captain Ron's.
Thank you, Brianna, for those fast facts. Today we're here with Ron Dugan. He is actually the owner of Captain Ron's, and Captain Ron's hosts the shootout. It's one of the biggest events of the lake. So today we're going to learn a little bit about it, and yeah. So first off, how did you get the shootout? Because it disappeared for a while.
It was going to disappear, let me put it that way. But the last year they had it, Chief Solentrop, the Sunrise Beach Fire Chief, invited me over to shooters to sit up in the command booth and see what was going on and kind of learn about the shootout. And so we'd always gone to the shootout and wrapped it up like everybody else. So I got to sit in the command center. It was kind of a neat view. And And he looks at me, he says, hey, they're going to tear this place down. And I said, yeah, I kind of heard that. He says, we need a new place. I said, I got a great place over here. And he's like, yeah, I know you do. And he says, I'd like to, if you're interested, we'd like to come over and look at your location and see if we can make it work.
Awesome.
So that's kind of how it all started.
Okay, cool. And so how long have you had it now?
We are in year 14 with the shootout. And we started in 2008 and been going strong ever since.
Yeah, and it gets bigger and bigger every year.
It seems to be, yeah, and a lot more to handle, but we've got some great volunteers.
Awesome,
we have over 800 volunteers that help with the event. And that's 800 different people.
Yeah, dang.
And so they handle everything, and we bring in more and more events, and someone will come to me and say, hey, we got a great idea for an event. And I'm like, all right, you're going to need volunteers. And so have you got a group you're thinking about? And they'll, one of the requirements is that they're a 501c3. And so if they want to get involved, then we're saying, hey, we've got this new event. Why don't you help man that for us?
Very cool.
Like this year, we have the new car show and the dyno show.
Yeah.
And so we needed a couple new groups to help with that. And so it gave people a place to volunteer.
Very cool.
Cool.
Huh.
Now, the funds or the proceeds from the shootout, do they go to those that are volunteering, or do you pick a different charity each year?
Well, for the most part, there's 8 different fire departments, and they help in different events and stuff like that. But we try to make a pretty decent donation to them every year.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's about 30 to 32 other charities that we benefit, and that's mostly based on volunteer hours.
So what has been the coolest boat that you've seen down here? What's your favorite?
Obviously the Spirit of Qatar, we talked about that earlier. It was a fantastic boat. The My Way boat from Canada was awesome. But there's been some really cool poker run boats, like the Bat boat that was here, the Looney Tunes boat. MTI always brings some really cool boats. The Dirty Duck is a really neat boat. I actually got to drive that boat. I mean, there's some cool PWCs, and we have a pontoon boat that's gone 114 miles an hour.
That is just so
crazy.
Insane, yeah.
It's so crazy to see the pontoon boat just stay down.
People come from all over the country to see all the different kinds of boats, not just the big ones, but all of them.
What all do they race? Pontoons? PWC?
We have a PWC section, but the rest of the boats have to be at least 22 feet or longer. Okay. We've had a barge that ran one time.
What?
After it was like watching paint dry, so we decided that the next year we weren't going to let barges run anymore. But we have an electric boat that's been running the last couple of years. I think it went 25 miles an hour the first year.
Better than nothing.
That's a little slow going down the course.
I think I do remember that.
But it's something unique, so really anybody can run. I mean, you can bring your boat out and run. I ran mine, went 66 miles an hour, and it was a thrill of a lifetime.
Yeah, I bet. And then when is the shootout this year?
It is August 28th and 29th. That's the actual races. We have events for the prior week leading up to it.
So the whole week before is a different event?
Yep, the weekend before and then the whole week leading up to it. I mean, we have the mini shootout, which is up at Tonka the weekend before. And we have boats go 124 miles an hour. Remote control boats.
What?
Yeah, it's a great event,
my gosh,
especially for the kids
I've never been.
and grandkids. My grandkids love it, and I mean it's a really cool event. You have young kids running remote control boats, and so it's a lot of fun. It's a great environment up there at Tonka in the springs.
It's pretty over there.
It really is. We have a poker run that Friday before the week. And then on Monday we have a treasure hunt here at Captain Ron's, and it's digging up buried treasure. It's a lot of fun. We have the Hall of Fame dinner. We have the street party over on Bagnell Dam Strip.
Yep.
The Make-A-Wish rides on Thursday. We have the big poker run on that Friday. We have a couple different auctions, one here and one over at Camden on the Lake on Saturday night, and of course the races on Saturday and Sunday.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, you've got a whole week of events.
And the Dyno Show, I forgot about that on Thursday. That's a new event this year. So we have the car show on Bagnell Dam Strip on Thursday. So a lot to do, something for everybody.
Yeah.
So do you sleep the week of shootout at all?
Not a lot, but I have a lot of great help. Should be bigger and better than ever.
Awesome.
So exciting.
Cool, that is exciting.
The shootout is one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's always one of my favorites, so.
It is mine too, believe me.
I bet it is for you.
Yeah.
So if anyone wanted to register or see the event schedule or anything like that, where would they go?
The best place is our website. It's lakeoftheozarksshootout.com. And they'll find all the information they need there.
Cool, perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I know you're busy, so we really appreciate it.
No,
Just
my
a few
pleasure.
things to do. Yeah. So, well, that wraps it up for this month's edition of Monthly Market Update. I'm Jessica Bruce.
And I'm Nicole O'Sullivan with the O'Sullivan Bruce Group. We will see you next month.